The American Nightmare just lost everything. The title he bled for, the dream he chased for years, the legacy he built brick by brick gone in one night. And what you're about to hear, this isn't what they're telling you on television. This is the truth behind the curtain, the real story that's been hidden from millions of fans worldwide. Before we dive into the chaos, the betrayal, and the shocking revelations that will change how you see WWE forever, I need you to do something for me. I need you to be part of this family. Because what we do here at SLAMZONE isn't just wrestling commentary, we uncover the truth. We dig deeper. We don't accept what we're spoon-fed. So if you're ready to see behind the smoke and mirrors, hit that subscribe button right now. Turn on those notifications because when news breaks in the wrestling world, you're going to want to hear it here first. And honestly, after what I'm about to tell you, you're going to want to share this with every wrestling fan you know. This is bigger than Cody. This is bigger than one championship. This is about the future of professional wrestling. WrestleMania 41, the biggest stage of them all. Cody Rhodes walked in as your undisputed WWE champion, the man who finished his story, the man who defeated Roman Reigns, ended the bloodline stranglehold on the industry, and finally stood on top of the mountain his father never got to climb. 2 years of storytelling, 2 years of blood, sweat, and tears, 2 years of the entire WWE universe rallying behind one man's quest for redemption, and in one night, it all came crashing down. But here's what they're not telling you on Raw. Here's what the commentators won't say during SmackDown. This wasn't just a loss. This wasn't just another title change to create a WrestleMania moment. What happened to Cody Rhodes was calculated, deliberate, and orchestrated from the highest levels of WWE creative. And the reasons why? They're going to shock you to your core. You see, when Cody won the championship at WrestleMania 40, something shifted in the wrestling landscape. Ratings started climbing. Merchandise sales exploded. Arenas sold out faster than they had in years. The American Nightmare wasn't just a champion, he was a phenomenon. He was moving units, creating moments, and giving WWE something they desperately needed: genuine emotion. Real stakes. A story that mattered. And that's exactly why they took it away from him. I want you to think about the last 6 months of Cody's reign. Match after match, defense after defense, opponent after opponent. AJ Styles, Logan Paul, LA Knight, Solo Sikoa. Every single time, Cody delivered. Every single time, he proved why he deserved to be the face of the company. The matches were instant classics. The promos were fire. The connection with the audience was undeniable. So why would WWE pull the trigger on ending his reign now? The answer is corporate strategy. The answer is long-term planning that doesn't care about what the fans want in this moment. The answer is that WWE has already mapped out the next 2 years of storytelling, and Cody Rhodes holding the championship doesn't fit the narrative they want to tell. And I know what you're thinking, this sounds like conspiracy theory territory. But stay with me, because the evidence is overwhelming. First, let's talk about who won the belt. John Cena, the 16th-time world champion who's been semi-retired for 3 years. The Hollywood superstar who shows up 4 times a year and then disappears to film another movie. Now don't get me wrong, I love Cena. I respect everything he's done for this business. But let's be real for a second. Does John Cena need this championship? Does his legacy require title reign number 16? Or is this about something else entirely? This is about the Saudi deal. This is about international markets. This is about networks and streaming services wanting a recognizable name they can market to casual viewers who don't watch wrestling every week. Cody Rhodes is over with the hardcore fanbase. But John Cena? Cena transcends wrestling. He's a household name. He's who you put on billboards in countries where they don't know who Roman Reigns is. He's the safe bet. The corporate choice. The guy who makes shareholders happy. And Cody? Cody gets sacrificed on that altar. Backstage sources, and I'm talking about people who've worked directly with both men, have confirmed that the decision to take the belt off Cody was made 3 months ago. 3 months. Long before WrestleMania season even started. This match, this outcome, this entire storyline was predetermined not because it made creative sense, but because it made business sense. And here's the part that should make every fan's blood boil: Cody wasn't consulted. He wasn't brought into the conversation. He wasn't given a choice. He was told 2 weeks before WrestleMania that he was losing the championship. 2 weeks to process the fact that everything he'd worked for, everything he'd built, was coming to an abrupt end. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine being in his position? You've carried the company on your back for an entire year. You've delivered critically acclaimed match after critically acclaimed match. You've done every interview, every appearance, every fan signing. You've bled in that ring. You've sacrificed time with your family. You've given everything you have to this championship and this company. And then they tell you it's over. Not because you failed. Not because the fans turned on you. But because someone in an office building looked at a spreadsheet and decided you weren't the most profitable option. That's the reality of modern wrestling, folks. That's what happens when wrestling becomes sports entertainment, becomes corporate content creation. The art gets sacrificed for the algorithm. The story gets cut short for the quarterly earnings report. And the performers, the ones who actually step into that ring and put their bodies on the line, they become expendable. Now let me paint you a picture of what actually happened at WrestleMania 41. Because the match itself? It tells its own story if you know how to read between the lines. The crowd was electric. 70,000 people packed into that stadium, and you could feel the energy radiating through your television screen. When Cody's music hit, when he walked down that aisle with the championship on his shoulder, the ovation was deafening. This wasn't polite applause. This wasn't obligatory cheering. This was genuine love from an audience that believed in him, that believed in the story, that wanted to see him succeed. Then John Cena's music hit. And listen, the pop was huge. Of course it was huge, it's John Cena. But watch the match back and pay attention to the crowd reactions throughout. Every time Cody hit a big move, the place exploded. Every near fall on Cena, the crowd was on their feet hoping for the 3 count. This wasn't a crowd that wanted to see the title change hands. This was a crowd that wanted Cody to prove he belonged in the main event. That he wasn't just a transitional champion. That his story wasn't finished. The match itself was a masterclass. These two went out there and left everything in the ring for 32 minutes. Back and forth action. Reversals. False finishes. Moments where you genuinely didn't know who was going to win. Cody hit 2 crossroads, 2 of his finishers, and Cena kicked out both times. The frustration on Cody's face wasn't acting. That was real emotion bleeding through. He was fighting not just to retain the championship, but to hold on to his place in history. And then came the moment that broke the internet. Cody went for the 3rd crossroads. He had Cena up, the crowd was screaming, this was going to be it, and Cena reversed it into the attitude adjustment. Out of nowhere. The place went silent for a split second, that collective gasp before impact. Cody crashed to the mat. Cena hooked the leg. The referee's hand hit the mat once, twice, and you could see Cody trying to kick out, his shoulder fighting to get up, but the 3rd count came down. 1, 2, 3. New champion. The celebration was muted. Even Cena seemed conflicted. Watch his face when they hand him that championship. There's no wild celebration. No classic Cena exuberance. He looks almost apologetic, like he knows what this means, like he knows what just got taken away from his opponent. These guys are professionals. They don't let their real emotion show often, but in that moment, you could see it. The business had spoken. The decision had been made, and all they could do was execute it. But here's where it gets really interesting, and this is where I need you to pay close attention. Drop a comment right now and tell me if you noticed this too. Because after the pinfall, after the referee called for the bell, there was a moment, just a brief moment, where Cody and Cena locked eyes in the center of the ring. And Cena said something to him. The cameras didn't pick up the audio. The commentators didn't mention it. But if you read lips, if you watch closely, Cena appears to say, "I'm sorry." 2 words that tell you everything you need to know about who actually wanted this finish. The aftermath has been equally telling. Cody's promo the next night on Raw was electric. He came out to that ring, championshipless, and he didn't make excuses. He didn't cry about the loss. He stood there like the professional he is, and he acknowledged what happened. But there was something different in his eyes. A hardness that wasn't there before. A realization that maybe, just maybe, doing everything right isn't always enough in this industry. The fans gave him a standing ovation that lasted over 3 minutes. 3 minutes of straight applause and chants of, "Thank you, Cody," because they knew. The audience always knows when something doesn't feel right. Meanwhile, backstage reports have been flooding in from multiple sources. And this is where the real story starts to emerge. WWE Creative is already planning Cena's championship run, and it's exactly what you'd expect. He's scheduled to hold the belt through SummerSlam, defending it against a rotating cast of established stars. No long-term storytelling, no character development, just big match after big match designed to pop ratings for individual shows. It's the same formula they've used for part-time champions for years, and it rarely results in memorable moments or meaningful storylines. But here's the kicker, and this is the part that should have every Cody Rhodes fan ready to riot. There's talk, just whispers right now but from reliable sources, that Cody isn't even being considered for a rematch clause, that they're moving him into a completely different program, something mid-card, something that doesn't revolve around the championship. After everything he did, after the year he had, they're going to sideline him while they parade John Cena around with the belt he built. You feel that emotion right now? That sense of injustice? That's what great wrestling storytelling is supposed to create. But this isn't a storyline. This is real life. This is a performer getting pushed aside because he doesn't fit the corporate narrative. And it happens more often than you think in this industry. So what does this mean for Cody Rhodes going forward? What does this mean for WWE? What does this mean for us as fans who invest our time, our money, and our emotions into these stories? That's what we're going to explore together here on SLAMZONE. Because this channel isn't about blindly cheering for everything WWE does. It's about critical analysis. It's about holding the industry accountable. It's about making sure the voices of real fans are heard above the corporate noise. And I can't do that alone. I need you to be part of this community. So if you haven't already, smash that like button. Subscribe to SLAMZONE. Join this family of wrestling fans who aren't afraid to demand better. And hit that notification bell because the story isn't over. It's just beginning. The truth is, Cody Rhodes losing the championship might be the best thing that ever happened to him. Not because he wanted to lose it. Not because it was the right call creatively. But because sometimes the most compelling stories come from injustice. Sometimes the greatest comebacks are born from the deepest setbacks. Cody Rhodes spent years fighting to get back to WWE. He left the company, built himself into a megastar on the independent scene, revolutionized wrestling outside the WWE bubble, and then returned to finish his story. And he did finish it. He won the championship his father never held. He climbed the mountain. But maybe that was just chapter 1. Maybe the real story, the legendary story, the story that will define his career, is what comes next. How does a man respond when everything is taken from him? How does a champion react when the crown is ripped from his head not by defeat, but by decision? This is where we find out what Cody Rhodes is really made of. This is where we discover if he's just another talented wrestler or if he's truly the generational talent we believe him to be. And if there's one thing I know about the American Nightmare, it's that he doesn't stay down. He doesn't accept defeat. He finds a way to turn setback into setup. He transforms pain into purpose. The wrestling world is watching. The WWE universe is waiting. And Cody Rhodes? He's planning his next move. The championship might be gone, but the story is far from over. What a moment we're witnessing, what a journey we're about to embark on. This is where legends are made, not in the victory, but in the response to loss. This is SLAMZONE, where we don't just watch wrestling, we understand it. We dissect it. We live it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this incredible community. And remember, when everyone else is telling you what to think, we're giving you the information to think for yourself. Until next time, keep fighting for what's real. Keep demanding what's right. And never stop believing in the power of a great wrestling story. Because the best ones? They're still being written.